Um, hey, what up, guys? Happy Friday, happy Friday. We are live. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. So today we're going to talk about, guys. First of all, if you're new into this channel, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mamadou Diallo. Make sure that you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, let me know what type of topics you want to talk about. Today, every single Thursday is, I think today is Thursday. I hope it's Thursday. So we go live at 6 p.m. EST and we talk about all things private money. All right. We show you how to leverage other people's money, other people's credit, and get into real estate investing, because most people, their excuses as to why they're not doing real estate deals is because they don't have the money and they don't have the credit. And so this show is to show you, number one, you don't need money. Number two, you don't need credit. And the only thing you need is to take action and build your network. And so today, guys, on this show, I'm going to talk to you guys about how I turned one of my sellers into a private lender, okay? And without ever actually doing a deal with the seller. I ended up not buying that property, okay? Which is funny because, so first, let me wait a little bit, have some people get in here. I see one person is watching. Let me see if I can get at least 6 people watching. Okay, guys, again, happy Thursday, guys. If you're new into this channel, I think it's Thursday. Please, guys, can you let me know? I don't count the days. Is today Thursday or Friday? Should be Thursday, because I should be going live Thursday about private money. Please put it in the chat, in the comments. We're live, Nathaniel. So guys, if you're new into the channel, if you just stepped in, like I said, again, every single Thursday at 6 p.m. EST, I go live. Normally it's me and my man, Marco. But guess what? Thursday, boom, Kwame, love it. So my guy, Marco, today, he's at a cruise, so he cannot be here, right? But every single Thursday, guys, we go live and talk about all things private money. How do you use OPM? OPM stands for other people's money. And also on top of that, how you can leverage other people's credit. It's not just their money. You can literally leverage their credit. And so to do this real estate, you absolutely don't need money. You don't need credit. What you do need, though, is action taken, which most people lack. I promise you, every single time you talk to somebody and they're like, hey, it's been a year. It's been 2 years. I haven't done a deal. Ask them this question. Show me your CRM. Okay, guys, show me where you stored your data and let me look at your calls. Let me look at the action you've been taking, and you can track back to their action the reason why they don't have a contract. It's only like, how many people did you talk to? That's the only question you need to ask them. And if they're not having a lot of conversation, there is a reason why they don't have a deal. And so today, again, guys, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, let me know what type of topic you want to hear about. And here's another feedback I really want to know is what we're doing wrong in this channel. I would really love some feedback as well, so we can, get better, right? I appreciate you guys that are with me here. So today, guys, I'm going to talk about who was, guys, put in the comments, who was on the Unbreakable Challenge today? Anybody? Unbreakable Challenge with Grant and Pete Vargas, I think that's his name. Anybody? Put it in the chat, put in the comments. Anybody was on the Unbreakable Challenge, or anybody at least following the Unbreakable Challenge? Maybe you watching the recordings, because today was powerful, man. Today was about communication, the power of communicating, the power of words, the power of your story. Doesn't matter where you are in life, right? Let me know, guys, in the comments. So, guys, today I want to keep it short and sweet, okay? So I'm going to talk about how I raised $50,000 from a seller, okay, guys, from a seller that actually we ended up now working out a deal on his property. We never did a deal together on his property, okay? This deal, so the seller's name is Rajiv. This guy is actually, he became a good friend of mine now. He's based in New York. How do you make time for that stuff? Because I have systems and a team in place, Nathaniel. So I can make time to go into this space and learn. My team is banging the phones and I'm still, it's funny that you asked that, because while I was on that live, that didn't stop me from talking to people and I negotiated a contract while I'm on that live. So it really doesn't like, unless you have a 9 to 5 and you cannot touch your phone, like there's no reason for you to not be there. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter how busy you are. You should absolutely make time because that thing will 10x your business. By the way, that training will 10x your business. That is an investment. So guys, so my co-caller at the time co-called this seller, and the property, his property was is an area called Dundalk in Maryland. It's a really good area, and he had a rental. He's based out of New York. You know, yeah, Nathaniel, I was a solopreneur for a year or two. So, but still, bro, like especially as a solopreneur, you gotta make the investment in yourself, man. But regardless, it's gonna be recorded. So if you invested in it, you're gonna get the recording. So it really doesn't matter. So guys, my co-caller called the seller, right? And he was an absentee owner. For those of you that are new and you don't know what an absentee owner is, an absentee owner is somebody that owns a property but they don't live in it. So most likely is usually a rental, right? So he has a tenant. He talked to my co-caller from the Philippines, and he has a tenant, and that tenant haven't paid rent for a minute. Like really, I think it was probably a year or maybe a little bit more. The tenant haven't paid rent. Now again, guys, remember this is Maryland. And Maryland is one of those states that is super tenant friendly. Okay, is Maryland, California, those type of like blue states. You better make sure that your vetting process when you getting tenants into your property in the blue states, that is super, super strong and super strict. But even then, if the tenant, I heard Grant Cardone say something once, and I like at first it hit me the wrong way, but now I understand what he means. So when you own properties in blue states, and it's like rentals and buy and holds, like you don't own the properties. The tenants own the properties. The tenant can decide not to pay you, and there is nothing you can do. I mean, it can take you up to 2 years to get a tenant out. And that's what happened to this seller. So his name is Rajiv, really good buddy of mine now. He became a really good buddy, even though we connected through a cold call from one of my co-caller from the Philippines. And so when she called Rajiv, Rajiv said, "Hey, I have this property. I'm interested in selling it. I'm not in any financial pain or anything like that. The thing is, I am a physician assistant in New York, and I have zero time to deal with this property. But this tenant haven't paid me for a while. The tenant is a pain in the butt. On top of not paying me, this tenant is always calling the county on me. So the county, every single time Rajiv filed for eviction, the county keep pushing the eviction date, meaning the hearing for the eviction. But soon as the tenant calls them to come and see the property and then complain about little things, so he would say, "Hey, come and fix the toilet, or come and fix, something is broken in the basement or whatever." Rajiv will send somebody over, and he would not let them in. So the tenant will not let the person in to fix the stuff, but the tenant will still call the county to come and complain that the property is not up to code. And the county would call the owner, which is Rajiv, and go, "Hey, you need to fix this." But they're not helping him get this tenant out who hasn't paid for about 2 years. Keep making excuses. And so when I got in touch with Rajiv, one thing that I understood right away, that number one, he's a tired landlord. He's sick and tired of like Maryland in general. He just want to get out. He owned a couple of other properties in Baltimore also that he had already sold. This was probably the last one that he had. And when I talked to him, I realized this guy, he's just too busy with his job. Remember, guys, when you're on the phone with sellers, it's not about what you're trying to accomplish. It's about what the seller is trying to accomplish. It's not about you. It's about what the seller is trying to accomplish. So when I got on the phone with him, I quickly, by asking qualifying questions, I quickly realized he doesn't need the money. He's not hurting financially. He's making a great living buying properties. He owns properties in New York. He owns properties in Florida. He's come from a great family, and he's a high earner. So he's not hurting financially. His pain point is that tenant. He's just too tired. He's tired of the state. He's too tenant friendly. He just wants to get out. And he couldn't also sell the property. He couldn't list it because of the tenant. The tenant is not letting anybody in, right? So guys, here's what I decided to do. I told him, listen. So he was asking the price he was asking at the time. I think he was asking $190,000 or $210,000. But like as a cash offer, honestly, we couldn't have bought it more than I think it was 160 or something like that. So we were like way lower than what he's asking. But I realized this guy, there is no way to negotiate him down because he's not financially hurting. He can wait till whenever this tenant get evicted, and then if he wanted to even fix up the property and then list it. So what I decided to do, which was genuine from me, it was not something I decided to do because I was faking or I was looking for something. I just decided, you know what? I told him, listen, it seems like you don't have people here. He had a property management at the time, which the property management sucked. Okay, guys, the property management wasn't doing anything they were supposed to do. They didn't file the eviction the right way. If you ever worked with property management, I'm telling you, like 99.9% of them, the way property management, the way they make money is if you have turnovers. What turnover is when you have vacancies. So when one tenant get out and a new tenant is getting in, they make money. Or when you have repairs. When you have repairs, if something costs $50, they'll send you a receipt of $75. That's how they make money. So most property management companies, they have no incentive to take care of your property. They have no incentive to make sure that your tenants stay there for the longest, right? And so his property management wasn't helping him in terms of everything that he needed. And this guy is busy. Like the medical field, like he is busy. He's busy. He has no time to deal with this property. So his frustration was there is certain things. So one, he needed somebody to go and help him talk to the tenant, maybe try a cash for keys, go in there, take pictures, see if this guy, what he was talking about is truly like the property has certain issues. And so that's all he needed. I realized that's all this guy needs. So I said, hey, how about I just help you? I'll just go to the property. I'll try to talk to the tenant, and I'll take the pictures for you. And what you can do literally, you can call the tenant and say, I'm the new property management. We can sign like a property management paperwork. And I will be the property manager so that I have the right to actually talk to this tenant. Okay. And go in and take the pictures for you and see if he what he's talking about. The 4 C's, yes, Melissa, that was powerful. And see if what he's talking about is accurate. And then I'll try to see, if I can help you out any way, shape, or form. I don't think we're a good fit as far as a buyer, because I need to be way lower than the price that you're asking. But I'm happy to help because I am local in Baltimore, and that property was about 35 minutes from me, right? So I decided, you know what? I really don't mind going there. I'll drive there. I'll do it for you, and then I'll send you anything you need. And if he ever vacates, I can literally go take the keys for you and, change the locks, whatever you need, right? So I even offered him creative finance at the time. He was intrigued by it, but it ended up not being a good fit. But we stayed in touch. And so the more me and Rajiv we talked, the more we started having really, really great rapport. We started, becoming really good friends on the phone. And the reason being is because now we moved from the property, away from the property. Now we're talking about, the real estate journey that is in his 9 to 5 and all that fun stuff. And, Rajiv is the type of person that is surrounded by people that not everybody tells him what he needs to hear. Everybody's telling him what he wants to hear. Right. And so the more we talked, and he explained to me how he got this tenant in the house. I think it was a tenant that he met at church, and the tenant, or in the neighborhood somewhere, and the tenant gave him a really sweet story. Guys, if you own buy and holds, if you own rentals, this happened to me personally. If you own rentals and you're going through and vetting tenants and screening tenants, the tenants that will tell you the saddest stories and the most touching stories, saying, hey, I promise you, trust me, I have a kid that is sick, I'll take care of the property, life never gave me a break, but I'm always bouncing back. I'll do this, do that. Do not put that tenant in your property. Those tenants are the worst. They will always stop paying. They will screw you over. Right? If you want to be charitable, open a charity or give charity to people outside of your homes. It has not, like, if you own rentals, you have to treat it as a business. That's your business. Your tenants are your employees, and they're waking up every single morning and they have to go to work for you. Tenants don't realize this. That's why real estate is such a great investment. It's because every single day that your tenants wake up and they go to work for somebody else, thinking they're working for that person, 33.3% of their time is actually toward you. They're working for you, the landlord, and they don't realize that, right? So investing in real estate, in a sense, is almost like crowdfunding your retirement. So all these people are just going out there working to make sure that you retire with a good chunk of money, right? But here's the thing: you have to treat it like a business, because it is a business. So you don't start creating a charity in your properties that you own and start just taking anybody that has a sweet story in, because usually those people, especially if they start by, oh, trust me, I'm a good Christian, I'm a good Muslim, I'm a good Buddhist, I'm a good Jew, doesn't matter. If they start with that, stay away from it. Do not take them into your property. They will stop paying. And that's what happened to Rajiv. And so the more we started talking about this tenant, the more I was like, Rajiv, you know what? It's actually your fault. It's your fault that this tenant is taking you through hell, because you have zero screening process in place. Rajiv had zero screening process in place. He just got this guy in because the guy had a sweet story, and it was easy, it was fast. He doesn't have to like list it with a real estate agent. He doesn't have to pay anybody to screen anybody. So, one, he was cheap. Secondly, he listened to a sweet story, right? And so I said, Rajiv, now remember, guys, this goes against selling, by the way. So you can tell I'm not a good salesperson, but I'm also a great salesperson, because I am, authentic. Every single time I've closed a deal, guys, is because it wasn't about the property. It's because somewhere me and the seller, we connected on a personal level. And there is something that I did that gave them the trust, gave them the confidence that doing the deal with me is a good fit as a person, not necessarily just for, getting rid of the property. And so with Rajiv, the more we talked, the more I started telling him, hey, this was your fault, actually. We didn't have any screening process, so why would the tenant pay you? You didn't screen this tenant. You don't know nothing about this tenant. You don't know their credit history. You don't know nothing about them. You just got them into your property because it was cheaper. It's saving you money on listing the rental and screening, and then you pay maybe an agent to handle that for you. And so you chose the easier route. So you cannot blame, because the reason being, guys, is because he was blaming Maryland and Baltimore and all this, everybody there is bad and this. I'm like, no, the problem here is not the city. The problem is not the state. The problem is you. You, the landlord, didn't have any screening process in place. So you created that problem. That leads him back to self-accountability. I swear to God, guys, Rajiv told me, Mamadou, you're telling me things that none of my friends or my family is telling me. Like, everybody just always tell me what I want to hear. You're telling me actually what I need to hear. So we became really, really good friends. And so I helped him with this property, guys, up to, he got the tenant out. I did everything he needed from me. I would go there. I would take picture for him, send it to him. I helped him talk to the tenant to do a cash for keys. But even that, it ended up not working out, but I was just giving my time. So we became really good friends. And so the more we talk, the more I'm telling, he's asking me, my investing strategies. We started talking about creative financing. So he started researching creative financing up to the day he found Bigger Pockets. Then he found Pace Morby. Then he was like, man, this is so powerful. I never thought of it. Because, by the way, Rajiv buys properties only traditionally. He invests a lot in New York. If you guys know about people that invest in New York, most of them, they only invest for appreciation. That's their play in New York. People in New York, there's a lot of people that buy properties in New York, guys, 800,000 and above, and they have absolutely zero cash flow per month. They're barely breaking even. But the reason they buy in New York is because they're banking on the appreciation. That's their game, right? Because New York is also one of those very landlord-friendly states. And so when they buy, when they buy, what they're saying, I'm not a solo Nathaniel. I said I used to be a solopreneur. I have a team now. Okay, my business is automated. Um, so in New York, when they invest, they're investing for the appreciation. Okay, so that's where he invests there, and then he buys in Florida as well. Okay, so oh, you're asking to Jasper. Sorry, I thought you were asking to me, Nathan. So guys, so the more we started talking, the more we started building rapport. So I was telling him about all these creative strategies, how he should start buying properties subject to and seller finance, because he's always using his credit, putting down payments. So his portfolio is growing really slow. Okay. And so the more we started talking, and I was telling him about the fix and flips that we do and all that fun stuff. Right, guys? So he ended up volunteering to lend on one of my fix and flips. Mind you, I never asked this guy for no money. And this is a guy I met through a cold call from one of my virtual assistants. I met the seller through a cold call from my virtual assistant, and through rapport and service and adding value to him, he ended up spending, and I'll show you guys here, just in case somebody thinks I'm making it up. I'll show you guys here. So he landed on a deal that I was doing. It was a fix and flip in DC. It was a fix and flip I was doing in DC. Let me, if we give you guys the address, you can look it up. Nanny Helen. It's 11308. I'll pull up the address. Give me 1 second, guys. Again, guys, if you're new into this channel, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Today, we're talking about how I turned a seller into my private lender without ever buying their property by just adding value to them. Okay. Let's see. What is the, okay, there you go. It's 43, guys. 4306 Nanny Helen Borough. You can look up the property. I flipped that property. Nanny Helen Borough is in Washington, D.C. I just put the address right there. Boom. You can look up this address. I fix and flip that address. Rajiv, that seller I'm telling you guys about. Okay. Ready? Are you going to get banned on YouTube for showing address like this? What? They're doing that, bro? Don't scare me. Come on. I didn't know that. Jasper, why didn't you say it before I typed it? Okay, we're going to edit it out. We're going to edit it out, and I'm not going to show the address right there. But here's what happened, guys. So I told him, hey, I have this fix and flip coming up, and we're going to need $50,000 for that fix and flip, guys. We literally, Rajiv, I don't know about that, Jasper. I'm going to research it. If it's the case, we're just not going to show the address on YouTube because I can put this video as private, so that's fine. I actually need to start watching the comments because you guys are distracting me from my story. Jasper, come on. I'm trying to get a story to the finish line. All right. So, guys, look. Can you guys see that? No? Gosh. You guys cannot see? Anyway, you probably cannot see this. But I told him about a fix and flip that we have coming up in DC, right? And that we needed $50,000 to, because he kept asking me, hey, I would really like to invest with you. I really like talking to you. You seem like you know what you're doing, this and that. And when that flip came in, I told him, listen, we have a property in DC right now. If you want to invest in it, we're going to need $50,000 to renovate the property. Literally, guys, we had to close fast on this property. So we didn't even draft a note and a deed of trust for this property. We drafted a joint venture, me and him, for the $50,000, saying that I am bringing the property and he's bringing the $50,000 to do the fix and flip. So he went from being a seller. At first, when we talked, we ended up not being a good fit. Then he went from being a seller, we're not a good fit, I'm not a good buyer for you. Oh, another thing I did for him, guys, so another investor bought the deal from him. Think about this. Another investor bought the deal from him, but he invested it with me, not with that investor. He literally sent me the contract from that investor to review for him and confirm that that's a legit investor. The investor made the offer, said they would buy the property with the tenant inside the property. When I looked at the contract, I said, hey, if they're willing to put earnest money, refundable and all that fun stuff, and the title company, then hey, move on with them, because they're taking this property without you having to deal with the tenant. You don't have to, kick out the tenant or anything like that. They'll buy it from you, right? So this guy trusted me up to the point where he was literally sending me pictures of every single wholesaler that texted him or send him a direct mail. He would send me a picture of it and laughing about it. That's the trust that we had. But how did I create that, guys? I was honest with the guy right from the get-go. First of all, I'm not your buyer. But secondly, I realized this seller, he's not in pain. He's in pain, but he's not desperate. He's not a financially desperate person. So I decided, you know what, whatever. I'm here. I'm not far from the property. It's not going to cost me anything other than some gas. So I'm going to add value to him, go to the property so he can take care of his work in New York, right? He doesn't need to, the guy is too busy in the medical field. And by the way, it's a good use of my time, because if I drive there, I can go do whatever he needs me to do at his property, take pictures, whatever, and then I can just drive for dollars around that neighborhood and find new opportunities. So to me, it was like a no-brainer, right? So he was like, wow, everybody is cold calling me. People are texting me. I talk to them. They're offering me lowball offers, but nobody ever offered to help this guy with nothing in return. Nobody thought about saying, hey, let me go and take care of the tenant for you. Let me just go and take pictures for you at the property. And so there's a lot of people, because they're so hungry for their next deal, they make calls and they struggle getting deals because they're so focused on getting a deal for them. I need a deal right now, and the seller can smell it. They can smell that hungry breath, that newbie breath on you, that you need a check tomorrow. You need to pay your rent tomorrow. And so when you're talking to them, they can smell it. They can sense that. And so you're not looking like Pace Morby would call it, looking for the bunnies. Commission breath. There you go. That's exactly what it's called, Jasper. So you're not looking for the bunnies. You're not looking for what the seller, you're not making it about the seller. You're making it all about you. And so at the end of the day, nobody want to do deals with you. So I made it all about Rajiv. Let me just add value to this guy, regardless of what happens. I'm not a good fit. I already knew that as a buyer, which is perfectly fine. But who knows? Something might come out of this relationship. And this relationship turned into a what? A $50,000 private money from a guy that I didn't know from Adam's Cats before. And today he's a really, really good friend of mine. Why? Because one, I added value to him. Two, right? Even guys, when the more I talked with Rajiv, the more I realized he had some mindset issues. I literally one time, as a surprise, it was Christmas, I went and I bought a book that changed my life mindset-wise, and I shipped it to him. Now, that is because it's who I am as a person. I'm really passionate about helping others. To my core, that's who I am. I grew up alone. I raised myself in a refugee camp. My mom passed away. I was 7. So I grew up without my family. And throughout my whole journey growing up without my family, other people, strangers, took care of me. My godmother, friends, people that I just meet, they just strangers took care of me throughout my journey. And so it's really dear to me to help other people. It's like ingrained in me. And so naturally, usually, sometimes when I talk to sellers, I start telling them things mindset-wise that has nothing to do with sales, right? I'm just being me, right? So I'm maybe motivating them or saying something. So that's how me and Rajiv, we built such a good rapport that he was comfortable investing $50,000 with us to fix and flip this property. He got his money back. He got a return. And on top of that, he got a relationship. Today, Rajiv is a really good buddy of mine. And this is just one seller, by the way, guys. One of the #1 DMs that I get from newbies or from even people that have been doing this for a minute is, I'm struggling to find private money for my deals. I'll tell you why you're struggling to find private money for your deals. #1 is because you're not building relationships. What I mean by relationships is you're not adding value to other people first. It's always all about you. When you reach out to somebody, is how can you help me? Hey, I need my first deal. Can you help me? It's always about me, 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 me. That's #1. #2, you're not asking. If you've been wholesaling for a while, if you've been wholesaling for 8 months, I've met people that have wholesaled way longer than I am, and they still don't know how to raise private money. I'm like, hold on, I'm confused. When you wholesale in a property, you put a property under contract. Okay, you go to close escrow. The first question you should be asking to the seller at the closing table is, hey, what's your plans with all this money that you're about to get today? Because most of them have zero plans. They have absolutely zero plans for their money. So that's a private lender for you right there. That would spark the conversation where you can bring up, hey, we have a way where you can invest with us. What do you do, Courtney? Right? So you're not asking. Another thing is you're not asking. Remember, there is a biblical saying, who shall ask shall receive. So you got to ask. So if you've been wholesaling for months, a year, and you never raise private money, is because you never open your mouth and ask. Those sellers that you're helping wholesale their properties that are making $50,000, $100,000, $30,000 at the closing table, even $10,000, $5,000. Those are your private lenders. Most sellers, guys, their goals when they close on their property, the goals when they close on the property is this. They will take a little bit of money and pay whatever bill they have, take a little bit of money, maybe go somewhere on vacation, and then the rest is going into a savings account. And if you guys know anything about banks, you putting money on your savings account, that money is earning them 0.0.0 nothing. So that question is so powerful. At the closing table, you should always ask the seller, hey, what is the plan for this check you're about to get today? Because remember, guys, you already have rapport with these people. They signed a contract with you and you're about to perform. So your rapport with these people is huge. But if you don't execute at the closing table and you let it just slide by, 1 month later, 2 months later, 3 months, they have no reason to remember you. Most of you don't even keep relationships with the sellers you've helped 1 year ago, which is really a shame because you should. Because people is people that have your money. Strangers have your money. Strangers have your money. So when you're on these phones, guys, focus on adding value. You never know who's on the other side of the phones. Even if you guys are not a good fit, meaning you're not a good fit in terms of you buying their house or you getting the contract, but always don't burn the bridge. Leave it open, add value to people, and expect nothing back. Let the universe do its thing. So Kwame is asking if I can explain how that PML deal was structured. Yeah, really simple, dude. The way it was structured, he was giving me $50,000 and he's getting 10% flat fee. And then because I needed to close so fast, we didn't have the time to draft like the note and deed of trust. We structured it as a joint venture. So we had a joint venture where I'm bringing the property and he's bringing 50,000 as the funding partner. And then he got back $55,000. I think it was 3-4 months later when we sold the property. Does that make sense? Now, as far as like the structure of deals, guys, when you have private lenders, you can structure it any way you want. The great thing about private money is you can negotiate your own terms because private money is relationship based. Anybody that will be your private lender, guys, there is no way somebody is just being your private lender out of the blue. You gotta have a relationship with the person. You guys need to have some sort of relationship and trust. Rarely, you're gonna have people that will lend you out of the blue without knowing you, unless they're actually already a lender. And if they're already a lender, they're not a true private lender. What they'll do is they'll start asking you things like points, and then a lot of things that because they're already a lender and they know the game, right? And so, but true private lenders that will lend you and negotiate terms with you and whatnot is mostly the everyday type of person. The nurse, like Rajiv here, this seller we're talking about today, he's a physician assistant, right? It could be a restaurant worker, it could be a mechanic, it doesn't matter. It could be your barber. Every day where you go to do your hair, that's a private lender, by the way. The problem is that the reason he's not investing his money with you is because when you go to get a haircut, you are not talking to him about real estate. Every single body, guys, everybody in their right mind want to get into real estate. They just don't know how. And so if you would just talk to enough people, let them know that this is the game you're in. And on top of that, the sellers that you're talking to, convert them into private lenders. You wouldn't be struggling for private money. But you need to add value to people first. and expect nothing back and watch the universe do its thing. Guys, put in the comments what is your one or two takeaways from today's show before I call it a day. Please, if you're new into this channel, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. Every single Thursday, we go live here and break down for you how we get private money, how we do deals with using OPM, leveraging other people's money, other people's credit. Guys, we've bought deals that we use other people's credit to buy them. There's people out here that will lend you their credit, literally, to buy deals. So the excuses of, I don't have money, I don't have credit, that's out of the window. What you don't have is, you don't have a network. Guys, having friends on Facebook and Instagram, that's not a network. A network is people that you connect with on a personal level. If I connect with somebody, every time I post a reel, guys, that reel creates on average about 4 leads every time. When I say 4 leads, I'm not just talking about sellers. I'm talking about real estate agents that reach out. I love the content. I love what you're putting out. Another wholesaler reaching out. Hey, I just watched this reel. Help me get a deal, whatever. That create four type of DMs. And there is always 2 or 3 of them that it's of no value, but one of them always come with value. And that one person, guess what happens? That person turns into a Zoom, into a one-on-one Zoom. Now we connect personally. And the next thing you know, I have a relationship with that person now. So many private guys, I've raised over $800,000 from Instagram alone. I repeat, for all you knuckleheads like Jasper, sitting there and not posting on social media or posting 2 days and then stopping, I've raised over $800,000 in private money from Instagram Reels alone. And posting on, when I say Instagram Reels, I repost those same thing on Facebook Reels, right? But Instagram, actually my first private money came from it, like my first ever private money deal came from Instagram. Okay. Kwame says, I understand that everyone can be a PML. Yes, and we can negotiate our own terms. Boom, boom, Kwame. Absolutely, everybody, dude. Your aunt, your cousin, your neighbors, like every excuse, guys. Do you know? I'll tell you guys what I do. I do something really silly. Even when I go to the gym, guys, even when I go to the gym, I create an opportunity for somebody from my team or a friend, for somebody to call me on the phone so we can have a conversation about real estate. And I make sure that I talk loud. Do you guys know how sometimes you go to the gym and people want you to turn your phone off? Dude, I'm a grown man. You're not telling me to turn my phone off at the gym. I need somebody near me, training near me right now, to know that I am in real estate, because one of my private lenders might be in this gym right now. All right, guys. So you gotta talk to people, man. You have to talk to people. And on top of that, you got to add value to people. You cannot just expect people to give you their money just because you're saying you're real estate. That's not how it works. You got to add value to people. Yes, Jasper, that dental office trick. So one, if you're not posting on social media, you're missing out on a lot of private money. That's number one. Number two, if you're not talking to everybody, guys. When I say everybody, because even if they don't have the money, they are a referral. They could be a referral. Your aunt might know somebody, your friend at the gym might know somebody that would love to invest in real estate, but they don't know you're in real estate. So they will never tell their friends that, hey, I know a friend that is in real estate. So it could be anybody, guys, everybody and anybody. I promise you. Strangers have your money. Strangers have your money. That thing we've been taught when we were kids, don't talk to strangers, is complete BS. Talk to strangers. Strangers got your money. Strangers got your wealth. Strangers are the ones that will help you grow in life. Not your family. Oftentimes, your family actually pull you back. They don't even believe in you until you make it. Then they start claiming you. So when you are on your road to success, strangers are your family. Strangers are your business partners. Strangers are your private lenders. Strangers are the one that believe in you and push you to give the best of you. All right, guys. So again, guys, I appreciate you guys for hanging in with me. Please make sure to come back every single Thursday at 6 p.m. EST. We go live, talk about all things private money. And also every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. we go live and talk about all things Airbnb, how you can buy Airbnbs with no money, no credit. We'll underwrite your deals if you come in there and you put your deal in the comments. We'll underwrite your deal, or if you just want us to look at your listings and tell you what you're doing wrong, or if you're doing great, be happy to do that as well. And guys, listen to me. If you're a solopreneur right now and you're doing everything yourself, you wearing the hats, you're the co-caller, you're the lead manager, you're the acquisition, you're the person, you're also the transaction coordinator, the person that talks to the title company, you're the disposition. Okay. And on top of that, you have everything else going on with your life. You're a knucklehead. Guys, you need to start outsourcing and automating. You cannot do this business by yourself, because otherwise what happens is you lock up one contract and then you spend all your time and energy on that contract. And if that contract doesn't close, now you don't have nothing in your pipeline. You don't have another contract coming because you were so focused displaying this deal and dealing with the title company and driving to the property that you never had time to call the next seller and lock up the next contract. Always have more than one property in escrow. And with that being said, the first thing you want to automate if you're a solopreneur right now, the first thing you want to automate is cold calling, texting, the outreach basically. So you want to hire a virtual assistant, man, to do that for you, so you can focus on the money-making activities, which is the lead management and the acquisition side of things. So you can also spend more time to learn and harness your sales skills. The reason you're not practicing the sales skills is because you're too busy cold calling. You're too busy cold calling. And I'm telling you right now, most people, I used to make that excuse to say I don't have the money, until I realized one day in my car, I hit my head like, dude, you do have the money. Every single day I'm buying coffee at Starbucks. I'm eating outside. I'm eating at Chipotle. I have the money, but I'm spending the money on the wrong things. A virtual assistant costs less than your Starbucks coffee, by the way, right? So with that being said, guys, I appreciate you all. Jasper, you're a knucklehead because you keep saying you're a knucklehead, but you keep staying a knucklehead. Bro, you need. I wish you lived in my state. You need some punch in your head, bro. Like, come on, right? So, guys, please, again, I appreciate you guys so much. Please leave me some comments on my YouTube channel. Please, if you're not subscribed yet, go subscribe. It really helped the algorithm. But also leave me some feedback, guys. I would love to hear any feedback you have. I actually love the negative feedback more than the positive, but any feedback you have, I'm a taker. And make sure to not miss the Tuesdays, 12 p.m. for the All Things Airbnb, and then Thursdays for all things private money. And we got more surprises coming for you. If you need badass virtual assistants, also DM me on my Instagram. I'll hook you guys up. And until next time, guys, stay bold. Be bold. Oh, good to see you, Barbara. Be bold. And Jasper, stop being a knucklehead, bro. Come on, bro. Guys, I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for the love, and I hope you guys enjoy this show. Peace.